Alright, what's going on, you guys? It's Royce Jacob. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are going to be talking about the great Tesla Bitcoin crash of May 2021. As I'm sure many of you are aware of, at this point, Bitcoin just fell off of a cliff following some news from meme lord Musk himself. This news did not only have a negative impact on Bitcoin, but did create for some carnage across the entirety of the cryptocurrency market. So I do want to talk to you guys about what I personally believe the ramifications of this news will be, not only on the cryptocurrency market itself, but also on some of our favorite crypto related equities here on the channel. All right, so let's get into it. As always, we'll quickly go over a few of the topics we're going to be discussing, and then we'll dive into each one individually. In front of us, TradingView, where we will talk technicals, price action, and price targets on the following names today, in this order, going down the watch list. Kicking off, of course, with the king, the focus point of this video, Bitcoin. Can't not talk Bitcoin. Again, you guys can see these dreaded 4-hour candles right here. You look at the daily candle, it looks the same, even worse, arguably. But Bitcoin, if you guys watched yesterday's video, did come up to test previous support as new resistance, bounced down, and then following that Tesla news did fall straight off of a cliff. Okay, so we'll kick it off with Bitcoin. We will also kick it off with this news out of Tesla. Okay, so this is it. Elon Musk says Tesla will stop accepting Bitcoin for car purchases, citing environmental concerns. So that's the headline. We will read over all of the bullet points here. Fairly short article, but I want to give you guys an idea of what the catalyst was for this big pullback we're seeing in the cryptocurrency market. So we will read through that and then dive into Bitcoin. Of course, got to establish it with the fundamentals. Go over the fundamentals first, and then we'll just talk straight technicals. Okay, so after Bitcoin, we will then move into Ether. This chart did just recycle. So TradingView, this chart just recycled about an hour ago. So that's why these are in the green. But if you're looking at the past 24 hours, things are pretty darn bloody. Okay, so we'll take a look at Ether after Bitcoin, have to do number 2. And then we'll take a look at Doge. Because especially with all this Tesla, Elon Musk news, we can't not look at Doge in this video. So I do want to give you guys my price targets on Doge, let you guys know what I think about Doge from a technical perspective, but also kind of the fundamentals that are tying Doge into the greater cryptocurrency markets as well. So after Doge, we're going to get into the good old equities, kick it off with the Bitcoin miners, RIOT Blockchain, or RIOT, and Marathon Digital, both seeing some very, very bad days. I mean, you guys, these two have gotten absolutely obliterated for the better part of a few months now. It sucks because these guys did us so well for such a long time, the king and queen, but they have been seeing some bloodshed over the past couple of months. You hate to see it, and unfortunately, I do think that could continue. Not quite as much as some other players, but I do think there might be more downside ahead, and I want to let you guys know where I'm planning on, at least where I feel comfortable buying back in at a later date, maybe after this correction in Bitcoin and the greater crypto markets is over. Okay, so RIOT and Mara. Then on to the space plays that are currency works and alternate systems. So OTC stocks, a little D right here next to the ticker symbol does signify that. These are over the counter. I use TD Ameritrade for these just to give you guys the heads up. But currency works also getting smoked over the past month or so. In alternate systems, same thing. But alternate systems was one of the few stocks in the entire market today that did pretty well. So we'll close it out with the green in the sea of red, and that is ALYI, the Mars mission. At the very end of the video, I also want to, that's a shout out. At the end of the video, I also want to talk to you guys or just kind of read through the intro to the newsletter that I sent out this morning. I mean, it feels good, you guys. Yesterday, if you guys watched the video about the market crash, I did talk about how I was hedging myself. And those hedges made me very, very profitable today. So today I was extremely profitable in my portfolios due to these hedges, even though everything else melted. So at the very end of the video, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about this and go over a few pieces of the newsletter. Don't worry, newsletter, everyone, all current subscribers, the Waves fam. I'm not going to go over specific trades, but I do want to talk a little bit about the newsletter, show you guys what it kind of looks like, and go over some of the things in here because they timed out pretty well and they aged well. Okay, so we'll read this at the very end, just give you guys an idea of what the newsletter looks like if for some reason you've been thinking about signing up. If you do want that newsletter, which we will go over, it would make more sense to shout this out at the end, but I always do this at the beginning, so I'm going to do it now. If you do want to gain value from this video, or if you're trading the markets right now at all, which I assume you are, please give this video a like if you do want to gain value from it today. Once again, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here and want to catch more content like this, and of course check out Complete Portfolio Daily Newsletter. Everything in my portfolio, I update that every single trading day during market hours, and with every update you receive a newsletter. And again, I'll show you guys more about that at the end if you want to stick around. Also, Discord, don't shout this out much, but Discord, we just had a great conversation in there prior to hopping on this video. I do hop in there every day at 2 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. Again, just right before I record these guys. And we had a great conversation, do a little Q&A with you guys, hop into the general segment of the channel, and talk with you guys. And we had a really good talk about this Bitcoin stuff. And I was really, that got me really excited to hop into this video. So let me know in the comments down below if you guys were part of that chat. It was a very fun time there. But if you guys have been thinking about signing up for the Discord as well, you can use code YouTube15 for $15 off. Again, no pressure there, no pressure on either of these. Just gotta shout them out because it's good business. And then at the very end, we will talk about BlockFi. You know what? After Bitcoin, we're gonna talk about BlockFi, because even if the market melts, you can still make money with BlockFi. BlockFi.com/Royce. If you want up to a $250 bonus, I think you got to deposit like 10K for that. But you deposit 5K, you get like $125. You can do the math there. In just calculator, 1 Bitcoin, 10 years, you're in like 20K. And again, even if the market's going down, there's still ways you can make money with your crypto, okay? Because especially to your holders, I'm a holder myself in the majority of my crypto portfolio. But also, I have been liquidating, shout out to the newsletter there, have been liquidating over the past few sessions. And they actually have a special for stable coins like USDC, Tether, where it's 10% interest every year, which is insane. That smokes any bank by far. And a lot of the crypto that I've just converted to USDC and Tether, I'm going to put in here and earn 10% a year on that. So I spent more time doing that than I wanted to, but BlockFi.com/Royce, link's going to be down in the description for everything I just talked about, okay? So I appreciate you guys bearing with me through that. Let's dive into these charts and again, kick it off with these fundamentals. So Elon Musk, Tesla stopped accepting Bitcoin for car purchases. First, the guy sells. First, he sells his Bitcoin. First, Tesla sells their Bitcoin. They caught the top, not the very top, but they definitely did not stick around for this. You have to wonder if he was waiting to release this news until after they sold. It's kind of seeming like it. Little sus coming from the meme god. So key points: Tesla has suspended vehicle purchases using Bitcoin out of concern over rapidly increasing use of fossil fuels for Bitcoin mining, according to a tweet from CEO Elon Musk on Wednesday. And I quote, or not I quote, this is the article. Tesla CEO Elon Musk said Wednesday on Twitter that Tesla has suspended vehicle purchases using Bitcoin out of concern over, and I quote, this is a quote, rapidly increasing use of fossil fuels for Bitcoin mining. In an SEC filing in February, Tesla revealed that about $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin, and it may invest more in more Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies in the future. At that time, the company said it would start accepting Bitcoin as a payment method for its products. Support for the cryptocurrency from Tesla contributed to the prices of cryptocurrencies, including both Bitcoin and Dogecoin. No surprise there, skyrocketing in recent months. Here was Musk's full announcement via tweets. Mainstream investors and some corporate buyers, including Tesla, Square, Metromile, and Nexon, have flocked to Bitcoin, viewing the digital currency as a potential inflation hedge, while central banks print money to relieve coronavirus-distressed economies. Even major Wall Street banks like Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley have also sought to provide their wealthy clients with Bitcoin exposure. But some investors, like SoftBank founder Masayoshi Son, still aren't buying into the crypto craze, and that's big too. Because Masa, if you guys aren't familiar with Masa Son and SoftBank, going into the pandemic, they played almost the tech trend, the technology trend, better than anyone else. And it does, going back to my argument that many institutions who have not yet bought into Bitcoin are waiting for it to get down to 40K. Even right now, as we dive into the charts after this, you can see these are probably some whales buying up right here, just seeing that opportunity. But I do still think it's going to go lower. Technicals. This is a very, very technically driven market, especially Bitcoin, especially cryptocurrencies. There's a lot of very competent technical investors in here. It's really catching up with the financial markets and equity markets. So, I'm sorry, equity markets. But again, I think smart money is waiting for a further move down just based solely off technicals, because Bitcoin is very good at following technicals to a T almost. Okay, so especially when you see significant moves like this, okay? For the past month or so, it's been really tough, but now that we see some clear price action, I think it's going to be a lot easier to read from a technical perspective. And I quote, close it out with this quote: there's a lot of discussion over if it's a good thing or a bad thing. What's the true value, or is it in a bubble? Honestly speaking, I don't know. Son said at a recent earnings conference, so that's Masa Son. All right, so that's the news right there. Again, Tesla, you don't know if is this a PR stunt from Elon? You can question whether or not he truly cares about this, because he started Tesla, which is the largest green EV company in the entire world. You'd hope that he actually cares about this, but he's also a businessman. He's also an amazing entrepreneur, and he is also the figurehead of Tesla. So this is a pretty important thing to say if Bitcoin mining is actually causing some pretty harmful ecological issues. Okay, so that's the key point there. Again, Tesla, we'll talk about Tesla a little bit at the end and why I'm personally short Tesla at this moment, like short the entire market once we read into the newsletter a little bit. But let's talk Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, again, in the video yesterday, I did this looked pretty clear like it was going to happen. Bitcoin broke out of the short-term ascending channel, came down, ended up coming back up and testing previous support, as new resistance, about perfectly off that previous line of resistance, support, new resistance. I don't know why I always mess that up every time. And then came down. Again, that news did catalyze this move down right here, but even from a technical perspective, it was not looking good. Bitcoin has been losing volume for a long time, aside from today, where you did see some crazy sell volume and buy volume on this dip. Just to sum this up right now, you guys, I do think that this is going to be a dead cat bounce. I do still stick to my initial price targets that I've had over the course of the past few days, maybe even week at this point. That Bitcoin did technically break a very strong line of support here. So let's actually go to the daily, and we'll zoom out a little bit, and I'll give you guys my overall price predictions here. And we'll get to this at the end. So Bitcoin, these arrows are getting a little annoying. Bitcoin is now has now broken a very significant down line of support. Okay, dating all the way back to here. So at the very beginning of the rally, Bitcoin created this line of support. First touch point on December 22nd. Next one, you get a couple touch points right here, 3 touch points right here over the course of January. Another touch point here. So you've confirmed that this trend line is in play, in fact in play at the end of April. And now, for the first time over the course of this entire rally, we just broke that line of support, which is a very strong line of support. And we did technically close a daily candle below it, which is like a technical, for me, a 4-hour candle kind of confirms it, at least on a short to medium term time horizon. But if you're talking about a more medium to maybe even long-term move, a daily candle kind of confirms that direction. And I do think, unfortunately, I love Bitcoin. You guys know I'm a long-term Bitcoin bull. From a technical perspective, this signals a trend reversal to a downtrend. So I do think next, we got to a low just today of $45,000. So that really sold off. That happened quick. Again, we got eaten back up. We are back up to 50K now. This is some crazy volatility. I love the volatility. And both ways, again, you guys, there's opportunity in all directions. Again, this comes back to the hedges. We'll talk about at the end a little bit. But Bitcoin coming up, I do think this is a dead cat bounce. I've said this many times, you guys. It's rare you see a sell-off like this. Maybe we'll see Bitcoin. So let's go back to, we'll stay on the daily because I want to talk to you guys about my ultimate kind of worst case scenario price target. So at this point, I'll just say I think it's extremely likely that Bitcoin, at the very least, comes to test the initial high, the initial parabolic high of the rally, of this overall rally, that the long-term rally that we've been in for the better part of half a year. And I do think that at the very least, we're going to come down to about $41,500, okay? Right here, obvious point right there. So I think 41K is going to be my initial price target. Again, after you fall off a cliff, you go sideways for a little bit, maybe dead cat bounce, but ultimately it's almost always followed by another significant dump to the downside. So right now, if I was a trader, I've already I liquidated a decent amount of profits this morning. But if I was a trader on this bounce, I would probably be liquidating a little more if I were to be trading this. Maybe I will after this video. We'll see. But I do think that 41K is the first price target. If we break $40,000, just keep it conservative. We could come down here, set just base around here, because there was a lot of support and resistance around this area right here, just around 30K. Like 30K wouldn't surprise me just because it's psychological even. But worst case scenario, and in all honesty, this would not surprise me, and in all honesty would make me pretty happy, because then I could buy significantly more Bitcoin, is going to be about $24,000. That's the actual first high of this rally. That's the actual first parabolic high. This is a pretty generous high. So that's why I would not be surprised, given all the fundamental factors around Bitcoin. Institutions will likely be buying Bitcoin, in my opinion. If I were a whale, if I were a market maker, if I had large sums, hundreds of millions of dollars of capital I wanted to deploy into Bitcoin, I would do it around $40,000 as far as a long-term investment is concerned. But worst case scenario, I would not be surprised to see $25,000. So I'll just say, not getting greedy, my absolute downside price target for Bitcoin is $25,000. At that level, I'm picking up an absolute bag of Bitcoin, okay? So let's move on to Ethereum. Ethereum looking way better than Bitcoin. Bounced. I mean, you could say Ethereum is just setting a series of higher highs and lows. Stochastic, the daily stochastic RSI just turned to the downside. That's a very bearish thing to see from a daily stoke perspective, in all honesty. So Ethereum, considering it's been ripping, I love Ether. Again, I bought Ether in 2017. It was the first time I made a lot of money. Still making a lot of money because I bought Ether at like 34 bucks in like March or April of 2017. And obviously that position's doing good. I've personally been taking profits. Shout out to Newsletter Discord. You guys know that. Over the course of the past few days, over the course of this peak, because Ether's just been ripping, you guys. This is what hype looks like. This is what FOMO looks like. This is what happens when your mom's friend's cousin is asking you, because they know you're the YouTube crypto guy, about whether or not she should buy Ether and Doge. That's usually a bad sign at the top. I've experienced this before. Trust me, that's a sign of things getting very, very toppy. So Ether, I do think will come back to, at the very least, test this middle line of support. But in all honesty, if we do see a significant correction, I think Ether could very, very easily come by the end of May. So end of May price target for Ether, just do June 1st right there, would be to test overall support, this orange line right here, at around $2,200 So conservative price target for Ethereum is going to be $2,300. If we see a $2,300 Ether, that also comes pretty well in line with this high right here, like some support we saw around here. So around $2,300 is going to be my end of month, maybe even over the coming weeks. So like 2,200 over if it happens over the week, because this is pretty steep. So say if we hit it like May 15th, which is very unlikely because that's only in a couple days, that would take us to about $2,000 even, which I don't think things will happen that fast. But again, over the course of the week, things can fall a lot faster than they can climb. And in this case, maybe it does happen fast because Ether's absolutely ripped over the past couple of weeks. Okay, so Ether price target there is going to be about $2,200, $2,300. Doge is following this line pretty nicely, so we'll actually hop back to the 4 hour because Doge is a good one that, I mean, has gone so far so fast, as all of you guys know at this point. So Doge following this random arrow nicely. I'm gonna leave this arrow here because I want to see how closely, like literally days later, I drew this on May 10th. I mean, I guess it's only May 12th, but 2 days, Doge currently sitting exactly on that line. So obviously, you guys, I'm just ballparking this, but it's always nice to see kind of those random price ranges. The arrows of randomness coming into play a little bit. I'm not trying to brag at all here. It's just kind of funny when that happens. But Doge, yeah, I'll see if it follows this. I still believe this. I still think that at the very least, Doge is going to bottom out around 18 cents. Worst case scenario for Doge, again, for the same reason, just initial highs here is going to be around like 8 or 9 cents. I'll just say 10 cents. I would not be surprised in the slightest if Doge comes down to 10 cents. Actually, right here makes the most sense to me. So right here is this initial high. In all honesty, I don't know why I drew that. I don't know if that line accidentally slid or something, but I think this will come into play right here. You see that little lump right there? That's the technical initial high of this shorter term rally, because this is only like less than a month ago at this point, just about a month ago, when Doge reached like 14 cents. So I think at the very, very least, Doge is going to come down to 14. I'm going to say end of month price target for Doge. Maybe even sooner than that. What is this? Where does this fall? So May 18th, May 19th. That'd be a great birthday present for me. May 19th, let's see Doge hit 15 cents. Okay, so again, you guys, I roast Doge a lot. If you guys have been making money with Doge, cheers to you. That's awesome. I respect pretty much just making money on Doge. Everything other than that is an absolute meme, and it's the people's money, whatever argument you want to make on that side. But it's literally a meme. So be careful with this one, guys. It's not too late to take profits, not financial advice. But if I was in Doge, I would have been taking profits like this whole time right here. Okay, so Doge, Doge price target 15 cents. We'll see if that plays out. So let's move on to equity. So Bitcoin miners, Riot. Got to kick it off with Riot. Again, Riot, this poor Riot blockchain, seeing some absolute just destruction for the past month, the better part of a month now. We'll just talk downside price targets right now. If Bitcoin's falling, I think Riot's gonna fall as well. So Riot, my next price target for Riot, we're at 26, we're at 26 and a half, $27 right now, is gonna be about $23. I'm not sure what's gonna happen here with Riot. Exactly. If Bitcoin goes down to 40K, if Bitcoin definitely goes down to 24K, then Riot's easily going to come down to the teens. But also, I think it's likely that even if Bitcoin, even if the equity markets, again, I'm bearish equities. We'll talk about that at the end. Once again, if you guys watched yesterday's video too, you'd understand why that is for many fundamental and technical reasons. If equities are bearish and Bitcoin is bearish, then RIOT is very bearish, unfortunately. And ultimately, it would not surprise me if RIOT did come down to about $14.5, $15 to test the actual first initial parabolic high here. Conservative price target for RIOT, worst case scenario, is going to be $15. At $15, massive buyer of RIOT. Again, you guys, I do cover RIOT pretty much every day in the newsletter as well. If you guys want those just kind of daily updates, my price targets, it's unlikely that these are going to change. But again, if you guys want those daily updates, newsletter, Discord, all that good stuff. And keep in mind, you guys, like we started talking about RIOT. Let me know in the comments down below if you're part of that RIOT gang like a year ago now, when RIOT was at like $1.50. So RIOT, even if it goes down to 15 cents, or sorry, $15, has still 10x from when we started talking about it at $1.50. Valuations in this market. And I love RIOT. Again, love these stocks. These stocks have done so much for me financially and like my YouTube career and stuff. Very grateful for these plays. But again, in times like these, you gotta be rational. You gotta stay rational. You can't let your emotions get a hold of you, and that's a sad thing I've had to learn over the course of these past couple of months. But again, the reality is you just have to acclimate and adapt. So. Absolute down, like next target is going to be $23. Absolute down target is going to be $15. $15, I'm buying up a baggie of RIOT. So we'll see if that happens. Let's talk about Mara a little bit. Mara, in a very strong downtrend, even worse than RIOT, been getting smoked even more than RIOT. And I think Mara has a pretty darn clear ride. Like very clear ride from where it's at $22 down to about $15, okay, to test that initial high right there. So Mara, unfortunately, I never want to say short Mara, but Mara $15 put might not be a bad call, especially if Bitcoin continues to dump off, okay? So, again, I will never short RIOT or Mara out of absolute principle. I'm not shorting these stocks that have done so much for me. But, objectively, Mara looks like it wants to come down to $15, and I would say that's a pretty, I don't want to ever say that's a safe bet, but just looking at this chart, I'm not going to be surprised at all, and I'm mentally betting on the fact that Mara is about to hit $15, okay? So let's close out with the space plays once again that are CWRK and Mara, and then hop into the portfolio, talk to you guys a little bit about the hedges. It's right there. So CurrencyWorks is getting a lot closer to a target that I'm comfortable picking up CWRK, although honestly, from where we're at right now at $1.15 to my price target at around 95 cents, that's still like a 15-20% correction. This chart just looks absolutely crazy because it's so volatile. CWRK is still very bullish on it fundamentally. Unfortunately, though, we've seen volume absolutely fall off a cliff. But again, for the same reasons, when support is broken, which is a common theme amongst all of these, you guys. When this support line is broken, which is just what happened to Bitcoin, which is the reason I think Bitcoin is very likely to come down to test its initial high. When overall support is broken, most of the time, you come down to test that initial high, okay? So I do think this initial high at around 95 cents will be tested. Worst case scenario for CurrencyWorks is like 20 cents. I think that's extremely unlikely because the company's made so much progress over the past few months. So if CWRK hits 20 cents, kind of same as RIOT at $15, I'm a massive buyer at that level. But I'm also a buyer at about 95 cents, or I don't know. Well, it depends how the market's going, you guys. I'm saying this now, but this market is the most wild, emotional, kind of hot-headed market ever that I've ever experienced by far. I think that's almost might be an objective truth to all investors, but 95 cents, I would say I'm somewhat comfortable buying CWRK, but if we go lower than that, then we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, right? Close out with ALYI, again, that splash of green. This felt insane to see. Like, just all things considered, tech sold off, everything sold off, EV sold off, crypto sold off. ALYI up 7%, so ALYI and Vixxy, to be honest, doing huge things for my portfolio. I was pumped this morning while the rest of the market was bleeding. It's kind of messed up to say, but that makes it feel even better. Yeah, it is kind of mean, but that's the reality of kind of trading sometimes. It feels good to win. It feels good to win, especially after I've been losing for so long, okay? So that's the reality of it. ALYI, I cannot look at this chart. You could even bend that. So ALYI, super significant downtrend from its high back in February. Broke out of the downtrend, came up, continued to use this previous resistance as new support, broke out again. Now it looks like kind of we're kind of printing like a massive like just descending triangle right here. So if you want to get technical here, ALYI did break above a pretty strong line of resistance today. So it technically broke, it's currently sitting directly on top of it. But on a 4-hour, it did break above it. It did not close. I'd like to see 4-hour close. If I saw a 4-hour close above this line right here, that would have made me very, very excited. So if we do break above that, if ALYI is literally green at all tomorrow, then that makes me very short-term bullish, and I do think we'll see a short-term breakout. Worst case scenario, because all equities are failing, ALYI did just prove to us that it can withstand carnage, bloodshed across the rest of the market. So maybe it becomes the outlier. Maybe capital flows out of other areas of the market into ALYI, into these market caps, into these small caps, these micro caps that look very promising, which ALYI most definitely is. And maybe we break out. So if we see a breakout, if we see any green at all tomorrow, then that makes me very short-term bullish on ALYI. That said, I would not be surprised as well if we continue to pull back, because looking at this chart, you cannot be bullish on this chart from a medium-term perspective. You guys know the deal. I think ALYI at some point in time can reach at least $1. July, I'm very bullish on ALYI for July for fundamental reasons many of you guys are aware of. But I would not be surprised once again if ALYI does see more short-term downside. So same thing here, you guys. Same exact thing. ALYI does have a pretty solid base around here. I'll say this right now. At this purple line, you can see right here at about 3.5 cents. So you can see multiple bottoms here. Bottom, 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 double bottom. I thought that was bullish because double bottoms are usually bullish. ALYI, because it's such a small market cap, just needs volume. Just needs more eyes on the product because it's a sick product and they're doing big things. Their vision is of the best I've ever seen. Worst case scenario for ALYI, I'll just say this right now, is the initial high of this rally that began at the beginning of January, which is going to be around 21 cents. You could also say that this is a high right here too, which ALYI is kind of basing off of as well. So ALYI from a potential upside to potential downside perspective, which is asymmetric. That's a word many of you recognize that word because it's a word I use a lot. Asymmetric risk profile means that the upside potential outweighs the downside risk. So from an asymmetric risk perspective, ALYI looks very, very appealing to me, okay? It's really finding support. It's found massive support around the current area it's at. And worst case scenario is, even though I just said it's like 22 cents, which is a 50% correction from here, if it hits 22 cents, I am buying RIOT, CWRK, everything I just said. I'm buying a massive bag, like maybe 10 million shares, to be honest, of ALYI if it hits 20 cents again. 2 cents again. But if we break out, I might buy more as well. Again, I'll discuss that tomorrow, newsletter. If it does break out tomorrow, I might buy more, and I could be very excited for some of this crazy price action to come. And again, we'll cross this bridge when we come to it. I'm not going to talk downside or upside price targets right now, but if ALYI does see a green day tomorrow, that gets very, very exciting. Okay, so we'll call it there, you guys. Please let me know in the comments down below. We'll actually close it out with this, but please let me know in the comments down below what of the plays we talked about today are you the most bullish on? What equity are you the most bullish on right now? What sector of the market are you the most bullish on if crypto does see a pullback? You guys know, again, silver, precious metals, oil looks good. Shout out to the shout out to the newsletter. Keep doing that. But oil, new face to the portfolio recently. Like, there's other sectors of the market that can do well. Hedges primarily right now. So let's just read through this, and I'll give you guys some brief thoughts on hedges. Don't worry. Again, subscribers, I'm not going to read through the trades specifically. So let's go, Waves fam. Finally, I timed the bears coming out of hibernation correctly. The markets are in rough shape today, and thankfully, I was prepared. I covered a few of my fundamental thoughts around why I feel the markets are bearish in yesterday's video, if you didn't watch that yet. So if you guys go watch yesterday's video, that one got a lot. These videos, my videos lately, have just been getting smoked. So again, it shows kind of the environment of the market right now. Everyone loves to be bullish, but that's cute. That's cute, but that's not reality, and that's not how things are. So unfortunately, times are bearish. That's life. That's cycles. The market, life, everything operates in cycles, and we've been ripping forever. Everything is overextended in this market. Might be time for a correction. I believe this bloodshed will span a few more trading sessions, and I've structured my portfolio around that. Even if we see a bounce to the upside tomorrow, I still don't think this correction is over. I'm battening down the hatches with hedges. So again, similar to what we just saw, what we're seeing in Bitcoin, Ether, Doge right now, like dead cat bounce, classic dead cat bounce, fall off a cliff, you bounce up a little bit, maybe go a little sideways, and then followed by another big move down. So very likely I will, if we do so. Let's just scroll down here real quick. Bitcoin, again, you can see that like right there, perfect, and we definitely beat that price target to the chase, as all of you know, like catalyzed by that fundamental news of Tesla. But technicals do run this market, so threw in some price targets for RIOT and CWRK right there. Vixxy, one of my favorite, I mean, Vixxy, I'll just talk about this one. I have a few other hedges that we went into last, but Vixxy is probably the single play I'm the most bullish on. So Vixxy is a ProShares VIX short-term ETF. It's a bear ETF. It's kind of amplified. So whatever the VIX does, Vixxy will pretty much mirror that. VIX, if you guys don't know, is a CBOE volatility index. I did cover that in yesterday's video. But Vixxy looks great right now. Vixxy just broke very, very significant previous supports. That is now new resistance, seeing crazy volume, and this is so bullish. And again, if you guys, Waves fam, if you guys are eating on this one, if you guys saw that 20% move up in Vixxy today, where's Vixxy? Shout out Vixxy. So Vixxy's going to be like, so VIX up 26%, Vixxy up like 17, at one point up almost 21%. Very impressive. And again, Vixxy from a technical perspective, let's just look at this right now. Did break this orange line, closed the 4 hour, closed the daily above it. Let's look at this daily, close the daily above that. And best case scenario for Vixxy, I'll just say right now, is to test the top side of this megaphone pattern. June 15th, if things are pretty bloody over the following 30 days, Vixxy could see like 25, 26 bucks to test the top side of this massive megaphone channel, because it has broken back in to this massive megaphone pattern from a technical perspective. And again, the S&P, the NASDAQ, everything looks pretty bad. So maybe I'll cover the equity indices tomorrow. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys want to see. Because I did just talk crypto. Maybe I'll talk crypto again, but I do kind of like covering the macro stuff. Just because at this point in time, especially if we're seeing a correction, that is what I feel is most important for you guys to cover. Okay, maybe precious metals, we'll see. But let me know in the comments down below what you want to see. Again, for those of you who happen to still be around, this is what the newsletter looks like. Again, go into some other charts as well. But yeah, this is what the newsletter looks like. Right here, close it out. 15 bucks a month. First link down in the description. Check out the Discord as well if you're interested in that. Again, YouTube 15. If you guys have been thinking about it for any reason, again, the Discord has been pretty fun. On Sundays too, we do live chats. Did like an hour and a half on Mother's Day. I was out on my lanai just talking story with you guys, talking shop for a while. And then yeah, BlockFi. If Bitcoin continues to crash, if you're a hodler like I am, especially in my BlockFi account, you can earn interest on your Bitcoin. So one Bitcoin, again, over 10. If you have one Bitcoin in there for 10 years, current price would be about $21,500. But again, they are doing stable coins. So again, I did, as I mentioned earlier, convert over the past few days a decent amount of my crypto holdings into USDC, because once again, I feel things are pretty toppy. Bullish long term, but things are toppy short term, and it's about time to take some profits, because honestly, I've made a bag with a lot of my crypto. So taking some profits finally. USDC, putting the USDC into my BlockFi account. This is currently earning with the special they have going. Earned limited time offer up until July 31st. So you got some time for this one. 10% APY on new stablecoin balances. So stablecoin, again, bank, you'll earn like 0.5% interest. Stablecoins, you can now earn USDC, Tether, etc. You guys know the drill there. You can earn 10%. That's insane. So this is like a long-term investment for me. I'm gonna keep my bag of USDC and BlockFi for a very long time. It's like a retirement account almost. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Okay, so again, this link will be down in the description as well. BlockFi.com/Royce if you want the bonus there, up to 250 bucks. But again, 10K for 250. So I'm assuming 5K you'll get like 125. A few $1,000 you get like 100 bucks in free crypto. Okay, so again, link down below. BlockFi.com/Royce really means a lot if you help out the sponsors, and I freaking love BlockFi. So even if you don't, go check out BlockFi. Always make the decision for yourself, guys. But I love BlockFi, and it's a blessing to have them partnered with the Waves fam. So we will once again call it there, you guys, for real. I'll catch you guys downstairs in the comments to talk shop. And until next time, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace.